it's now time for Valentine's Day, Super Sunday, top 4 battle off prediction time. Okay.
Do you work for Sky Sports?
I loved it.
That was basically
I loved
it, wasn't it?
That was amazing.
So, this is massive. This is a massive weekend of football. 2 huge games. First versus third.
Top 4.
Yeah.
No one knows. It's that tight. First versus third, I think it is.
Spurs are second.
Second versus fourth. Correct. We're going to start with Arsenal versus Leicester. So for both of these games, because they can all win the league, it's not about if, it's about will they win the league now. We've all decided on who we think will win the league at this point.
We have.
And we're going to say why they will win the league and then possibly why they will win this game. So let's start with Arsenal versus Leicester. And in this game, I'm going for a Leicester win. Sam's going for a draw. Flav, you're going for a Leicester win. Robbie, you're going for an Arsenal win. So the first question, Sam, I'm going to go to you. Because you believe that Leicester are going to win the league. Why will Leicester win the league?
It's basically from that game against City last week. I was just stepping back. I thought, Leicester can't win the league, surely. But after that City game, I've pretty much got no doubt.
It seemed like a bit of a sort of watershed moment for everyone.
It does. They didn't just beat City. They convincingly... They didn't humiliate them, but they trounced them.
It was clear, wasn't it?
It was a clear victory, and it could have been 4 or 5 or 6. Drinkwater's passes to Vardy. He had some great opportunities, and he missed them.
Yeah.
And they looked comfortable. That was the best part of it. They weren't scared in those last half an hour. They were just playing it out. They were just playing it out like they've done it before.
I also think that Leicester are going to win the Premier League. I mean, I love an underdog, so that's kind of probably part of why I think this could happen. But actually, if you really look at it, Leicester have probably the most balanced team in the Premier League. The squad isn't as good as the other teams, but that team, it's almost like the team revolves around every single player. Drinkwater, if you take him out, then it's not the same team. Vardy, if you take him out, it's not the same team. But they all fit each other beautifully. Even Albrighton is such a key cog in that team. They've got less games to play. I think from looking at the run-ins, I think they've probably got one of the easier run-ins. Yes, the last few games are tough, but I think by that point, with everyone else sort of slipping up, they might actually be there. In terms of momentum and getting nervous when it gets to the last couple of months. This is a team that, you just said, beat Man City very convincingly.
Yeah, it was a great
They have
performance.
34% possession. They don't need to dominate games. It's not about that. So I don't think they only have one mode. They just go for it. And as long as they continue to do that, I don't think there's enough thought process in what they're doing
I suppose that makes
to get that nervous.
It makes it easier for them. It's because they've only got to focus on being disciplined in defence and they can break out quickly. You haven't got to worry about keeping the ball up in midfield and do all this jazz. It's just two-pronged. Defend well, hit fast on the counter, and it's worked for them.
Exactly. And in terms of the game, get onto the game, I think this is going to be a very close game. And I think if you look at a stat that sort of was glaring for this game, because everyone just thinks, it's little Leicester, it's not going to happen. But this game will be tight, I think. And a key thing will be defensive errors and set pieces, because that's in these tight games. It's often a mistake that means one team wins and one team loses. Leicester have had 10 defensive errors that have led to goal this season. Arsenal got 20. Set pieces, Leicester have scored more set pieces than any other team. Those two factors will be huge in this game, and that's why I think they will win the game. So
Great, that's an excellent speech.
Robbie, over to you.
What about taking into the fact that when we played them last time, we put 5 past them? We haven't included that in the stats.
That's a fair point.
Right?
But
all these things, set piece, we put 5 past Leicester at their place when we played them last time. No one's remembering that. The season doesn't end in February.
So answer this question: why will Arsenal win the Premier League?
Arsenal have got just as good a chance of winning the league as Leicester have. Leicester are 5 points ahead. They had a great win last week, but I think Arsenal are still in it. They've got lots of players coming back from injury. We've seen Alexis; he's just starting to come back, but he's going to be a major player. Francis Coquelin is coming back. Danny Welbeck's coming back. So the full squad's coming back. All right, we've lost our nerve in the past in these situations, but I think we're more experienced than Leicester in this situation. Leicester have never had to go through this sort of thing before, and it's really difficult. We saw it with Liverpool a few years ago. They were running away with it. They were blitzing everybody, just like what Leicester did. And what happened to them towards the end? Even experienced guys like Gerrard slipped up, and they fell apart. And I think that
good use.
I think
good
that
use
people. I really do think that. Listen, don't get me wrong. Leicester have been brilliant this season. They really have been brilliant. But I think people are getting carried away with Leicester. There's still, 30 odd points to play for. They've got 50 odd points, so that's more than half of what they've even got. It's still a long way to go. Even when you look at the running and you say to yourself, oh, there's loads of easy games there. You're coming up against teams that are fighting to stay up. So those easy games where they were easier earlier in the season are no longer easy at the end. Because you may go away to a team like Sunderland and they need those points desperately to stay up. And we saw even Sunderland towards the end of last season go on a great run. Even Leicester themselves, who were almost down and out, go on a run of about 8 games and get themselves out of an impossible situation. So let's rein it in a bit.
But it's not about reining it in. You've got to predict on one team or another. You're just saying rein it in because you're not picking Arsenal.
Because everybody are just like, Leicester are going to win it because they beat Man City away. It's still a long way to go. And Leicester and Spurs, both of them have sort of been going under the radar because they've not really had that pressure on them. They've both done brilliantly, but they've both gone under the radar. The radar's been lifted now, and teams are going to be like, oh, we're playing Tottenham this week. It's a mega game for us. We're playing Leicester this week. It's a mega game for us. So I think there's still way too far to go to say Leicester are going to win it. And I think Arsenal got just as good a chance of winning it with the players that we've got. And I think we're going to win the game on Sunday.
So how are they going to win the game? Tell me that one.
How are we going to win the game on Sunday? We're going to
score
score more goals in there.
I see that one coming.
I mean, listen, as I said, we shouldn't have anything to fear. We put 5 past them at their place. We scored. Alexis Sanchez
look at this
scored
game
a
this
hat-trick.
week. How are you going to win that game?
I think what we're going to have to do is treat them with respect, something that I thought City didn't do. City is almost like they didn't do their homework. You know that they're going to try and get the ball forward quickly, so you're probably going to have to play a little bit deeper than what you normally play. You're going to, in the midfield area, we're going to have to match the work rate of Kante and Drinkwater, which I think if Coquelin's in the team, we can do.
That is a tough test for Coquelin to come in and play against.
Yeah, and when we get our chances, we've got to take them. And another statistic, let me just give you, is that most of the big clubs that have come to the Emirates this season, we've beaten them. All right, we didn't beat Spurs when they come, but we beat Man United, we've beaten Manchester City. I see no reason why we can't beat Leicester. They're a very good team, but we'll see.
We'll see.
I think you guys are getting a little bit carried away.
Fair enough. Well, let us know what you think, of course, in the comments below. Moving on to Man City versus Spurs. Flav's just calmly sort of taking a bit of time there.
It's under the radar.
Again, under the radar, exactly. So, same question. Why will Spurs win the league, firstly?
Probably won't win the league.
I knew you couldn't say it.
They're just saying it as a default. They know they've got a great chance of winning it as well. They've got just as good a chance of Leicester of winning it.
Every part of my fibre as a Spurs fan says that we won't win because that's what's happened in my life following Spurs. You kind of build up this stoical resistance to disappointment.
Go out of Flav's body and go into just a logical mind for a second.
Okay.
and go and look at how you guys have been playing. You've been informed.
We're probably the most. This doesn't make sense because we're top of the league, but consistent throughout the season. When we lose, we bounce back. We won 6 on the bounce at the moment. We've scored the most goals in the Premier League. Maybe not actually. We've certainly got the best goal difference. And we've conceded the least amount of goals in the league as well. And typically the team that concedes the least goes on to win the league. So, and I mean, we haven't won it since 1961. So, law of averages, we've got to do it one time.
As a team, in terms of the way that you guys play, what makes you guys better than most of the other teams in the league?
Defensively, only Leicester are better than Spurs, and that's such a rare thing for a Spurs fan to be able to say. Just because of the way Leicester play, and we've gone into Leicester, so I won't go into that again. But Spurs are brilliantly solid. We've got this triangle of Dyer and Alderweireld and now Wimmer, who's come in for Tongan, that just nullifies all the attacks through the middle. All of our strength in attacking sense comes from both the fullbacks. So we've got a very narrow team, but the fullbacks add all the width, and because of that, it's very difficult to break down.
Talk about the strength of the squad, because you're playing a lot of games. and you've still got a lot of games to play. People like Trippier and Davies have not always been your first starting two. Those were the two main men last week. They were both superb.
we've got 4 starting fullbacks, and we need to have those in order to play in the pod.
Test this week.
So City, let's look at this.
Massive.
City have not beaten any
Pressure.
side currently in the top 6 in the league this season.
Wow.
Won none, drawn 3, lost 4.
Jeez.
They get more shots off than anyone else. Of course, they've got Aguero, scored 7 goals this calendar year, more than any other player. Robbie, you've gone for a City win here. Why is that?
The reason why I go for City is because if they're not stung by what happened to them last week, I mean, they were so bad.
You expect a reaction?
I just see there's got to be a reaction. There has to be. And that's the only reason why I'm going for City. I was going to go for a draw, but I'm just thinking because of how poor they were, their defence is shocking, but I can see them edging this one.
I think, well, we've spoken about Spurs and how they are a good side. None of us have actually gone for a win here. The reason I've gone for a draw is because it allows you to stay under the radar for a bit. You could just win in the last game if that works out for you.
I'm changing my mind.
Oh, you changed my mind. Go on then.
Spurs win.
Spurs win. He said it. It's on
And
tape.
we're going to win this league.
And you're going to, there we go, a bit of
Whoa,
optimism
he's
from
getting
Flav. You
bold,
saw it
he's
here
getting
first.
bold.
You saw it
This
first.
Flav speaking
sure
all
about
about.
it?
Nah.
No, definitely not sure. Let's well, we're moving on. Why will Man City not win the league? None of us are saying that they're going to win the league. Why not?
I think this Guardiola thing, people are saying that it's not going to affect them that much, but you saw what happened against Leicester, and I think, yes, you can slap that off as coincidence, but how is Pellegrini going to get those players up for the game? If they're losing 1-0 at half-time, how is he going to come in and inspire them to win that 2-1?
If you don't play better,
Pep won't want you.
Yeah, honestly.
I'm going to ring up Pep if you don't improve.
Players don't think that far ahead, do they? They're thinking about winning the title again. That's what they want to do, right?
If City wanted to win the title, why would they undermine the position they're in and their manager by saying, oh yeah, he's not going to be here in 3 months, even if he wins the Champions League and the league and the FA Cup.
To be fair,
he's still going to go.
I think even from the start of the season, I think he knew you weren't going to be there.
The players did.
If
The
you
players
remember
didn't know
rightly, If you remember rightly, right, they didn't win nothing last season. For the fact that they weren't waiting on Guardiola, he would have went then. So,
Well,
is
we
that
can
a
agree
fact?
to this.
Just to conclude, you need so many things to be exactly right to win a league title, and to have a manager who's not going to be there at the end of the season. Players don't know where they're coming from, where they're going. You can't win a league title that way, and that's why they won't win it.
There you go. There you have it.
Sold.
So really weekend this weekend. Some amazing games. We want to know what you think about those games. Put it in the comments below. If you've enjoyed the video, make sure you like it and also subscribe to the Ball Street channel.
You can stick your red roses up your arse because I love Tottenham more than you. For about 15 minutes.
15 minutes?
It was great.
A lot of breakups after that game, yeah?
You got to be honest.
Did you win the game?
We won 2-1, yeah.